It's time for another budget-friendly mini PC. This one is from GEEKOM. I've done a couple of theirs. Mini PCs are very useful in this market right now because everything is very expensive. Like, legitimately, everything is very expensive right now. You build yourself a desktop PC, buy yourself a desktop PC, a full-size one, it's going to cost you a lot of money, truly. Whereas, right now, you can get into a mini PC for a much more reasonable price. If you only need basic computing, you can get into them with more basic specs. You can actually get these things to be pretty capable as well. This one here is the GEEKOM Air12. This is meant to be a very budget-friendly option, obviously. It does come with the Intel Pentium Gold 7505. Not tons of RAM, but again, it's DDR4, which is really nice, and SODIMM. Right now, DDR4 memory is actually reasonably affordable, to be honest. Laptop memory and desktop memory are reasonably affordable. Massively more affordable than DDR5, just so you know. So you can get these things spec'd out with different amounts. It's upgradable as well. That's very nice to see. If you need it, it's up to you. And storage as well. It's a nice little presentation. Kind of like that. Like a little pillar of destiny. I like that a lot, actually. That's cool. What else we get in here? Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. A guide. I don't need that, but that's really nice. You can mount it on the back of a monitor, which a lot of people will do, especially with these, lower cost, more efficient little systems. Just a basic type system. Very nice. You can do that. It does come with an HDMI for when you mount it. It's a shorter one, just perfect. It'll go right into the monitor. Power, which I will need. That's some of the mounting stuff, and you get the mounting bracket. It's a dark gunmetal. Is that plastic? That has to be plastic. Yeah, that's plastic. And then the chassis here is a metal piece. That's very impressive. So that's the front there. You do get a 20 gigabit port. That's also really impressive as well. 20 gigabit port here. That's fast. Like, do I have a 20 gigabit device? Yes, I do. You can hook up different docks and dongles and that kind of stuff. You can get, like, this is actually a 20 gigabit USB enclosure, USB NVMe. So this actually ends up running at 2,000 megabytes a second, and this can support that. Also does display. That's pretty impressive, honestly. And then this is also a 10 gigabit port. That's pretty good. 20 gigabit and 10 gigabit on the front. A lot of the times mini PCs don't come with so many fast ports right off the bat. Okay, Kensington lock slot, and it is built into the metal. Very good. And then on the back, you get a mini display. Oh, what the heck? This is such an interesting mini PC. A mini display out, which I actually do have one of those. I don't need to use it, but a lot of people use mini display out. That's pretty interesting that it has that. Standard HDMI, so you can DisplayPort or HDMI, your choice. Another 20 gigabit port on the back here, and two more 10 gigabit ports. This thing is absolutely jacked up with ports. So you end up getting 3 10 gigabit ports and 2 20 gigabit ports. Yeah, there's no USB 4, but who cares? There's so many ports on this thing, and an Ethernet as well. But I thought I'd show you. The feet here have lock screws, which are nice. Okay, and of course this is metal as well, and this is going to be potentially mounting, so that's good to be metal. Then you get a big thermal pad on that with a giant extra piece of metal, just a piece of aluminum, which works as a heatsink. So heatsink, so your NVMe is going to run cool. This is very well designed. As you can see, I just keep going with it. There's actually a M.22280, and that's a 6 gigabit per second. That should be just fine. 8 gigabyte stick there. It's easy to upgrade as well. We can run it with 8. You could run Linux off of it. You could run Windows off of it. For basic computing, 8 is actually enough for, like, I'm talking basic, like, document editing, browsing, that kind of stuff in Windows. If you load up Linux, 8 gigabytes is more than enough. And the nice thing is you can easily upgrade these. Put that in the lower spot. Now, I do have just, like, old RAM lying around. What speed is that there? That's 2664. And that's one of the nice things about DDR4. DDR4 is nowhere near as expensive, not even close to as expensive as DDR5. Like, it's not even close. DDR5 is up like 500%. DDR4 is up. It's up, but it's not even close. Maybe 50%, something like that. And people have loads of DDR, because it's been around forever. DDR4 has been lying around. You can, if you don't already have this, maybe you do. I have lots of it, to be honest. Like, I have quite a bit of DDR4 laptop memory. You can find it. Like, you can actually just buy old broken laptops with it and get it like for nothing. People throw them away. Something like that. You can pop one of these in here. I'll just pop in a little, and you could run this with 8 gigabytes, especially for a system of this caliber. Like, this thing's not designed to be a monster, but it's just like, why not, right? Like, I have this little 4 gigabyte stick here, pop that in, and now I go from 8 up to 12, which is it is a decent jump, to be honest, going to 12. It means we're going to also run a dual channel, which again, this is not a beast, but it won't make it, it will be a little bit nicer. And that little bit of extra memory will just, again, in Windows, you can definitely do Windows with 8 gigabytes, Windows 11, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. You're just not going to want to have a million things open. Having an extra 4 gigabytes of RAM means you're just going to be able to have more multitasking, more tabs open, more kind of stuff on the go. What a lot of people are using this for probably won't make a big difference because they're not doing power type work with it, but hey, why not? Hey, let's check idle right now. In terms of idle wattages, there's just nothing going on. And 122 volts, cool. 8.4 watts from the wall. 8.3, so the whole system's pulling 8.3, very efficient obviously. Up to 8, up to 9, yeah, so around 8-ish. I feel like it's just going to kind of sit around 8 once it's not doing anything. Very good. Okay, and there it is. Turn on this light, nice clean little thing there. If you're looking for a tiny little system, it's so small. Just a tiny little system, set it there, set it on the back of the monitor, wherever, under a TV, make it a little TV box. Right? You definitely don't need more than 8 gigabytes of RAM or a Pentium Gold to run YouTube. Okay, now I've just been messing about with it for a little bit here. We're going to test some, we're going to do some image for like scores. It's not going to be fast. It'll be fine. But what I do want to do is just see wattages under full load of noise. Idle, however, it's basically silent, obviously. .1, it's nighttime. I can't hear it at all. I'm sure the fans are on. Yeah, the fan's going, but you can't hear it. When it's down, there's no sound whatsoever. But generally speaking here, I just want to see what the from wall power is here, what kind of efficiency we're looking at here. This thing is not meant to be a beast or anything like that. It's meant to be a very efficient little thing you can use for like a little Plex type device, if you're using this for having a little media type setup, that kind of stuff. They even advertise it for, home security type stuff, like camera type stuff. That's more what this is for. Again, it's not going to be a monster. It's rated, the Pentium Gold is rated to 15 watts. That's a boost up to 18 or 19. It should, in theory, drop down to 15, I believe. That's how it's going to go. Yep, so it's down to 15 or 14, whatever, close enough. There's absolutely no change in sound. Oh, it is louder by 1 dB. I can't tell the difference. Yeah, it's like 0.5 dB louder, so there's no difference. In real world, you can't tell the difference. I can't hear any difference in sound for myself. Wall power now under full load, like that thing's being blasted. It's still only at 22. So and that checks out perfectly. So very efficient system, even under full load. Right, it's actually not as efficient as something like a Panther Lake chip. Those will be much more efficient on idle. But a Panther Lake chip will cost $1,000 for a mini PC. It's not even comparable. This thing is very cost effective. And let's check some real quick benchmarks here. So we have the storage and we have the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is good, no problems with it. My upload doesn't matter. Download, I can get faster downloads, but not out of a tiny little box like that. Typically, that's pretty standard. That's pretty standard out of a tiny little box like that. Typically, if I want to get better Wi-Fi in this area of my house, I need like antennas. So that's totally fine. No problems with that whatsoever. We do have the internal, just a standard SATA based M.2. So looks good. No problem there. Totally snappy for running your operating systems, moving files. That'll be great. If you do need to have access to faster file transfers, I don't know what's up with this front one, but yeah, I tested it in 2 different enclosures. It could just be like a bit of a misread, but suffice it to say it's fast, right? I actually was like confused, so I ended up using 2 different NVMe enclosures to see, but it's certainly fast. It's not a USB 4 drive, but it's fast. So if you need fast storage, use the front one. That's real fast, so that's really great there. Yeah, one of the things people might do with this type of device here is hook up external type media, right? Hard drives, NVMe's, that kind of stuff, and use it as like a file server type thing, or media type streaming, that kind of stuff. So it is nice if it's fast. The USB-A is also fast in the front there, so 10 gigabit exactly as advertised, nice and quick. So This thing, it's the interesting thing about this thing is like it has a lot of very fast ports. You don't normally see this many fast ports on really any mini PC, especially when it's a tiny mini PC, and especially when it's a tiny budget-friendly mini PC. It's so strange that they put so many good ports on it. I mean, they don't cost a lot, so it's nice. I mean, it's a good thing. That's really nice to see. Okay, so now, I mean, the last thing we really need to do here is we just need to put some burden on the system. Everything we've done here has been pretty simplistic. I have noticed 0 issues with being snappy, so we're going to come in here. We'll look at maybe like a YouTube video here and check it out, kind of see what's going on. In the meantime, though, I do want to show you, this screen here is a high refresh 1440p, and we're getting no problems there. 1440p at 100 hertz refresh. We're getting 100 hertz refresh, 1440p on the USB, on the HDMI. That's great. I'm actually going to unplug this here, or actually I'm going to just plug that in. USB-C plugged in. Is it? Okay. Okay, so now we're over on the USB-C. Give it a sec. Okay, so now we're on the USB-C. This thing thinks it's going to be 2 separate monitors because the way that my monitor works here. So you can see here that, let's bring that over. It does support dual display, right? You could triple display technically. You could go with the mini HDMI. With the mini display port, HDMI, and USB-C, you can get all of them going at one time. So that's really nice there. The fact that you can run multiple displays off of this thing, and one of them being USB-C, is really nice. You can use external portable monitors, or you can use a monitor like this. This is my USB-C capable monitor. You can see that there, 1440 hertz, and it does still do 100 hertz refresh. So yeah, I mean, you're getting lots of display out. That's great. Okay, so now let's test some, I guess I'd say like kind of multitasking type stuff. So we'll fire up this video here. This is a GEEKOM. This is a cool little mini PC that they had. This is totally different. IT12. This is running a 12th gen, I think it was 1260p or 1280p. You can see there, right? Like we have room to spare. So we're at 10 to 35, depending on probably what's going on there. But, you know, scrub through here. Like, what are we even getting up to here as we're scrubbing through here? 36. Like, there's tons of overhead here, right? Like, that means that while you're doing this, if you want to use, I mean, they're not advertising this heavily as, you know, a day-to-day type system. They're advertising it as, you know, like a media streaming box, which obviously it's going to be very capable. No problems there. Or, you know, like an auxiliary type thing, file server kind of stuff. But you absolutely could get this and do, you know, day-to-day type computing on it. You're not going to be doing the heaviest computing, but you're going to be fine. And you can see here, I mean, I did slap in that extra stick of RAM, but you don't really need it depending on what you're doing. You can see we're here at 6 gigabytes of memory being used here. So we would still have a couple of gigabytes left over. And I have a YouTube video open here. You know, I can open up some Google. If you use Google Chrome, it might not be the best, but you could use some. Edge is way more efficient, to be honest. I don't know what Google, how efficient that is. GEEKOM Mini. Just click on some random GEEKOM stuff here. That one, right? And you know, now the RAM's going to go up, but it's still nothing, right? Like you can easily just open up some pages, Let's see where we're at now. Let these all load in here. Like now we have tons of them open here. So if you're using this, you know, as a daily driver type PC, obviously not doing the heaviest compute, but you know, you're doing schoolwork, business type stuff, that kind of things. Like we're still not even at 8 gigabytes of memory, and you can go over. It'll just go off, pull off the NVMe if need be, and use a swap file. So it's not going to implode or anything like that, and it'll kind of sleep some of these. But you can see here, we're not having any problems. Also notice this thing, like this video is playing just fine. It's not buffering or like freezing or anything like that. Like it's running. It's loading all these pages in. So we're not having any problems here. This is a nice efficient little system here. So you're not gonna have any problems here with this thing, you know, using it even as a daily PC. So the market is pretty bad right now. Things are very expensive, and these are the type of systems that you can really get if you don't need more. Like if you really don't need more system right now, this will suffice. Like you're getting Wi-Fi 6, it's nice and capable. You're getting SATA-based SSD inside, very fast storage solutions that you can add into it. And interestingly, I mean, the CPU, it's only a 2-core, but it's a modern 2-core. This is not some like 7, I don't even know, like something from like 2012 or something like that. Like this is still a 2020, 2021 based CPU, so it's still gonna be capable. Okay, I think we can honestly wrap it up there. That's the GEEKOM Air series. I mean, it's a tiny little box. Very premium, surprisingly premium. All metal design around the outside there, the back. Little plastic thing there, but doesn't matter. It's just fine. Good upgradability on this thing here. Runs completely silently. You're not going to pay a fortune for this thing, despite the fact that the market is quite bad right now. You can actually get into capable computing for a reasonable price. I mean, even the way it's shipped, just 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256, it's going to be very capable for just basic use, document editing, school type stuff. You're not going to have any problems with that whatsoever, and it's going to be more than sufficient for a streaming type box. Put it on your TV, like file kind of serving up files, serving up videos, that kind of stuff. It'll be nice and quick, no problems whatsoever. It's upgradable, so you can slap in, I have it up to 12 now, you could take it up to 16. It does use DDR4 memory, which mercifully is way cheaper than DDR5 right now. So, and people just have it lying around, so it's easy to get that in there. So if you did want to get this thing up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, I mean, even 12 is decent. You saw I was not even close to 12 gigabytes used. Take it up to 16. I mean, honestly, you could go higher, 24, 32. You could if you want, if you're going to be doing the type of stuff where you're doing schoolwork, business work, and you have a bazillion Chrome tabs open, you could do it. And this is a good way to get into computing for low cost. So in this market where things are very expensive, you're not going to be able to take your dollar as far as you used to be able to. You're going to have to pay more for potentially less. So getting into something like this is very interesting because you're able to get into a nice high quality machine, quiet, premium feeling, get into something like this, pay way less money, and maybe this is enough for you for now and even going into the future, and you're not going to need more. Or maybe you want to ride it out. You get something like this and you ride it out until the market recovers in a year or two. It gets the job done. I don't need to do heavy things on it, and it works perfectly fine. So that's the GEEKOM there. It does the trick.